Hi, everyone. So I wanted to just come in and speak to you, and you can hear it from my heart how Christ's image in us came about. Um, that's the book. So early last year in January, I was sitting and just during my devotion time, and I was writing down and praying, reading my scriptures, and I felt the Lord say to me, I need you to be courageous. And I said to him, Lord, I don't understand. What do you mean I need to be courageous? And he said to me, I need you to be courageous like Esther. And I think, like most people, my first thought was just like, okay, how is that even possible? Um, and he said, I've called you. And I know I have so many prophecies, and I have said, yes, Lord. And I believe that he has called me. But a part of me was also so scared of doing anything about it, just in case I fail, or just in case I miss him, or just in case I miss it. So when he said to me, have courage like Esther, in my mind, what flashed was just Esther walking through those huge double doors and going to face the king and possibly facing death. And immediately I felt very defeated. And I thought, okay, Lord, how can that be? How can I have courage? And he said to me, because I've made you in my image. So my next question was, okay, so what is your image in me? So then he started giving me things to write down about his image in me. And the first thing he gave me was love. And love was always a struggle for me. Growing up, I didn't feel like I was loved. And even as a teenager, or even in my early 20s, I never felt loved until I met the Lord. So then I started writing about that, and he started bringing up experiences in my life where he was there, where I was loved, and that's how the book came about. He gave me so many things to write down, and I just kept writing those things down. And at first, it was mostly just headings that I couldn't possibly relate to. I looked at them and I just thought, I'm going crazy. I must be completely insane. And I said to my husband, I'm making up things now. I know I can hear the voice of the Lord, but this is like it's a bit much. There's quite a lot of things, and as usual, he looks at me like, "What are you talking about? Do you not know how amazing you are? Do you not know how beautiful you are?" Because you see, we don't see it. We don't see ourselves the way God sees us. We don't see ourselves the way people see us. The grace of God is on our lives, and we don't realize it, we don't recognize it, and we don't realize just the amount of power that he has put in us. So I'm going to read out just the chapters that he has given me to write about. Love, strength, worship, courage, forgiveness, the power of our words, fruitfulness, creativity, the Holy Spirit, emotions, generosity, thanksgiving, intelligence, power, and authority. And these are just a few of the things that he gave me to write about. After that, he gave me so much more as well that I wrote down, and I want to dive deeper, and I want to get to know myself the way that he has made me, because the only way to know how a broken toy works is to take it back to the manufacturer. And for such a long time, I felt like that broken toy that nobody could fix, that nothing could ever fix me. And it has been a very difficult journey. When I was 11 years old, I'm sorry, I can't say this without crying, and I've tried to not. When I was 11 years old, I was playing on a normal Saturday outside our yard, and I saw a flash, a flame come out, running out of our house, and I screamed as loud as I could. A neighbor came out with a blanket and wrapped my mother, who was in flames. You see, I lived in an abusive home. My dad didn't abuse me, but he abused my mother. I think a little bit of that trickled onto my sister, but that's her story. That's not my story to say. So, for a child, an 11-year-old child, to recognize that that's my mother running out in flames, there had to be something seriously wrong in my home. And I have walked that journey of seeing my mother running in front of me, and the shame that I have carried with that story. Very few people know this. You would have had to get very, very close to me, and I think it's made its way out of me throughout the years, because the Lord has had to say, let go of the shame, let go of the shame. You were 11 years old. You didn't kill your mother. You didn't do anything. In the chapter of forgiveness, I don't go into details. I just mention that forgiving is a choice, and you have to learn to forgive, because I had to learn to forgive my father for killing my mother. So the story of Christ's image in us, for me, what it has meant is, out of everything that I have been through in this world, out of everything that was thrown my way, God still loved me, and he still made me in his image. Out of all the mistakes that I have made, he still loves me, and he still made me in his image. I am still the daughter that he formed in my mother's womb. And he's had to restore so much of that, and restore me and repair me, and show me that I am more than my parents' mistakes, which a large part of my life I was identified as that. When you go through such a trauma in your life at such an early age, it stays with you, it defines you, you become it. The child of a murderer, the child of an abuser. And it has been very hard. Those memories come back, and those insecurities come back, and I feel like I don't know how to love. And I feel crippled in fear, because then I don't know how to, I feel like I don't know how to do anything. But the Lord has had to teach me and reteach me and reteach me. He's still teaching me. There's days when I go back and he says to me, sorry, my husband's just calling, and he says to me, go back and read what I had initially said to you on this chapter. That I go back and I'm amazed, and I'm like, okay, so you spoke it over me, and I wrote it down, because you love me, because you believe in me, because you see me, because I'm made in your image. So my hope is that you will read the book, and it won't just be a book you read because you love me and because you support me. This is not to my friends, my family. That it will be a book that changes your life and helps you to start seeking the image of God in you. That you'll ask him for yourself, what have you put in me? Who am I? How am I like you? Because that was the journey for me, of finding out how am I like my father? How are we in this messed up and breaking down world like the Father who created, who is undoubtedly amazing? I hope you enjoy it.